Good morning and happy Sunday. The preview tour continues as we move closer to the start of the NFL regular season, which kicks off on Thursday, September 5th. Today, I am still in the West, but swinging over to the NFC, and that means looking at the NFC West champions, the San Francisco 49ers. It was a dream season for the 49ers in a lot of ways in 2023. That is right up until the end. The 49ers won the NFC. They made it to the Super Bowl. They had some peaks and valleys, including a 3-game losing streak in the regular season, but they were a good team, especially on offense and for fantasy. This offseason, the team added some pieces, but hung on to its core players. As long as looming contract disputes don't play a role and they don't catch the injury bug, the 49ers once again figured to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Let's look at their offseason changes. The 49ers lost some pieces on defense. Eric Armstead, Chase Young, Randy Gregory, Cleveland Farrell, and Javon Kinlaw all signed with new teams this offseason. That will test the 49ers' depth as they work under a new defensive coordinator. On offense, the team saw backup Sam Darnold sign with the Minnesota Vikings, but they replaced him with a capable veteran in Josh Dobbs. They also added veterans on defense like Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos, along with veterans on offense like Chris Connolly and Logan Thomas. But probably their most splashy offseason addition came in the draft, as they spent a first-round pick on former Florida receiver Ricky Pearsall. In the last 2 seasons of Florida, Pearsall caught 98 passes for 626 yards. That's 1,626 yards and 9 touchdowns. He figures to give them another passing game weapon. They also added Renardo Green, a corner, and Dominic Puni, a tackle, in the draft as well. Later, they got some insurance at receiver with late-round picks of wide receiver Jacob Cowing and running back Isaac Guerendo. The 49ers have third-year quarterback Brock Purdy locked in as the starter, while Dobbs and Kyle Allen will provide some depth. There's little question that Purdy is the man. In 2023, his first full year as a starter, he finished as QB6 and led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He isn't flashy, but in this offense with these weapons, he's a low-end QB1 for me. I also like him quite a bit in Dynasty. But there's no question the 49ers' best player in life and in fantasy comes at running back, and that is Christian McCaffrey. He was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year and was on the short list for MVP. He finished as running back 1, posting 100 more points than running back 2 Breece Hall. He rushed for 1,459 yards, caught 67 passes for 564 yards, and accounted for 21 total touchdowns. He is an RB1 for fantasy. The 49ers also have Elijah Mitchell, who's an incredible backup. If McCaffrey misses time, I think he has wide receiver or running back 1 potential too, but I like him more in Dynasty than redraft. But they're not done. They have a great trio leading their receiving group too. In the passing game, the 49ers were led by Brandon Ayuk, who finished as wide receiver 14. Deebo Samuel was wide receiver 15. And tight end George Kittle was tight end 5. All 3 are back, and all 3 are weekly starts. I like Ayuk to finish as a top receiver, especially in a contract year. The only problem with all the 49ers is with such an embarrassment of riches, everyone can't max out each week. You're still starting each of these 3, but with McCaffrey out there, most likely only 1 or 2 will post great games each week. Among other weapons, Juwan Jennings is a decent third receiver. He only has weekly value if one of the starters goes down. Even then, I think he'll be competing with Pearsall now. I don't think either he or Pearsall is a weekly starter in 23, but Pearsall has some good dynasty value to me. So that leads us to our predictions. The 49ers, won the NFC West and made it to the Super Bowl last year. They're loaded on both sides of the ball. Their only hiccup this offseason has kind of been that Ayuk and star tackle Trent Williams want new contracts, but I suspect both those issues get settled enough that they will both be on the field this season. I expect them to be a good team. I think they're going to win the West again and be a top playoff contender. Go 49ers.